Hey guys, Disney Gundam, and today we're going to be doing a custom preview. So this is how I'm going to do custom now on. I'm going to tell you the articulation. I'm going to tell you what it turns into, just to risk less, to avoid the risk of damaging the custom overall. But at the same time, you guys will be able to get a real feel for it. So today I'll be doing a review of my custom cubix version 2.0. Now, as you guys might have known, I made a cubix a couple years ago. Unfortunately, he kept on having a serious problem. He would always fall down off my shelf, and then after that, he just kept on breaking apart. So then I was like, okay, forget it. This cubix is made more durable. Each individual cube has been fitted so that if you throw it at something, it will not break. I can't say the same about some other parts about him, but the cubes themselves were the main issue from the last one that kept on breaking, so that's what I did to this one. Now, obviously, this guy does not look like Cubix, except like a version of all version of Cubix. So, quick, here he is. Obviously, I did do some design modifications. I cut out these little discs from those city cases where you push to like release the disc because I thought it fit the motif very nicely. It's supposed to be a Cubix version 2.0, exactly. It's supposed to re-evoke the feeling of Cubix, but at the same time bring out a new kind of aesthetic to him. So that's what I was going for here. I also did light blue on the insides of the cube, so it looks like there's Solex coming out of him. And yeah, and obviously he has tank treads on him now, which infers that he will transform into more military-like vehicles and overall will be more self-sustaining, unlike the other toy, which actually released by you know what? I'm not sure who released the Cubix toys, but yeah, they basically came with a whole bunch of parts of accessories, and I just didn't want that because if you're playing around with Cubix, who the heck wants to pull out their bag and just like freaking like add in? There's a whole bunch of parts and stuff like that. So that's what I wanted to eliminate here. Obviously, he still transforms. He just transforms into a tank now because all the other Cubix transformations were all right, but I think they were kind of forcing it. So let's take a look at it. Here's the head. Now it's built straight off the old head, and just made a little bit more to look like Cubix's head, but just a little bit better. And that is the original headpiece back there. There's Professor Nemo's mark, and there's his eyes. Now obviously his faceplate is different because this middle section is protruding, and obviously you can see this little red thumb fingerprint right there. That was actually on accident when I was painting. But yeah. So the head is nice and chunky, but yeah. And let's go to these little big old cannons right here. I wanted to make them nice and big, but at the same time make them more like they're there. Like first thing, what do you guys notice? Like in this upper body section, you see those giant cannons in the back. And I also wanted to add these fins on top. So and add some more blue onto him. Like he only has blue on his feet and his head and his backpack. So yeah, and the orange, I wanted to make sure the orange popped. So like it was something like candy orange, something that made your eyes like it's eye candy, guys. It looks really nice. So yeah. And then the white, I wanted to make sure that the white was nice and clean, so there wasn't you couldn't see paintbrush strokes except for the torso area. You see all those real little weird protrusions. That's modeling clay, and that didn't turn out so well. But yeah, I also made a little plastic section for the C now for Cubix. Instead, back then it was painted on. As I mentioned, each one of these individual cubes are made. These are 3 parts on one piece, so each piece comes with 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24 of these individual L pieces, and I had to make a whole bunch of those to do this. That was crazy. But yeah, and here are his new treads. So it says Cubix on there. Now I wrote that backwards just for fun, and he has this little logo on there. It also says that on his torso. My friend Math Expert 9981 showed me how to write this cool way where you use cubes, and then that's what I did for him here on his feet. So they look kind of like sneakers. Cubix version 2.0. Yeah, Air Jordans. Yeah, and I wanted to add some more depth onto his feet, so he has a heel now. The original Cubix does not have a heel; it just ends right there. Also, he has these gray pieces, so there's more color differentiation, and he has treads now on this side. Each of these treads are articulated. His whole body's on ball joints, guys. So he's definitely pretty articulated now. Now, honestly, if you don't want the treads in there, you can take them out. They're on extension joints right here, and they're on little like cling joints right here, like little Daiso joints. And you can take them off, and he'll look just like the regular cubix, except more cool, I guess. But yeah, and then this gray is actually this dark. It's like a really, really, really dark gray. Whoa, see, he's starting to drift backwards. That was the issue. His ankles were pretty bad. I have no idea why it keeps on doing that. Now, I made covers for all the joints, so you won't see the joint all too much, so it'll look like it's more like it's hovering. Just candy red, or it didn't turn out candy red because it kept on like the blue kind of messing it up. But yeah, and then the hands, the fingers are the same posable hands. Yeah, so let me show you the back real quick. So there's he is. There's the treads take up the back of it. He has mini treads back here that are attached to the backpack. There's a version 2 on his torso area. And then these little cannons now are on ball joints, so I've retrofitted those. And then right here, he's got the new tank treads, which look pretty swinging. Now, if I rotate one out of the way, there's just little cubix logos right here. I wanted to keep it nice and simple, make it cool. Right here, what does it say? I don't know. Dr. Nemo. There, it says Dr. Nemo. Okay. And then yeah, and also to fit with these little circly motifs on his backpack, I added circles right here to add some more depth there. But yeah, and then also if you notice, all the tank treads are cut, so they actually look like treads. So I cut them like that. It's an interesting technique that I've been messing around with plastic, but if you don't get it right, then it'll get really messed up. Originally, his feet were supposed to have treads underneath, but it got messed up, so that's why it ended up all choppy like this. But yeah. So yeah. Look, he's pretty strong now. Little shaky test. I changed out some joints for him. His torso is no longer on a ball joint. It's on a ratchet joint with 2 suspension Daiso joints to keep it from lurching forward and back. So yeah. Yeah. And that's pretty much it for new joints. I already mentioned everything that's pretty much new, so there you guys go, cubix. Let me get you a size comparison. So here he is next to my Shockwave his tank. He's a pretty big fellow. Even though he's on all these little weak joints, he is still pretty huge. There he is with Shockwave. And then here he is with some other people. So let me get these two level. Master Grade Sotheby, he's still pretty huge. Lancelot Conquista, still pretty huge. Gypsy Danger, still pretty huge. All this stuff here, still pretty huge. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for checking this video. I definitely do appreciate him. Yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys.